Hello, welcome to my first video. Stick with me. Let's dive through Stoicism together. Introduction. There is a difference between belief and examination. Belief comforts. Examination disturbs. For centuries, humanity has been handed doctrines not as hypotheses to be tested, but as truths to be obeyed. We were told that divine authority governs the earth with infinite wisdom, infinite foresight, infinite power. Yet, when we examine the structures built around that claim, we are often met not with transcendence, but with ordinary human mechanisms. Tonight, we will not mock, we will not rage, we will simply ask, if divine strategy is perfect, why does it resemble human improvisation? And if the manual is flawless, why does it require so much reinforcement? 2. The second in command, but guarded by men. If the Pope is considered God's representative on earth, the visible head of the Catholic Church, then logically, one would expect visible divine backing. The current pontiff, Pope Francis, travels across nations surrounded not by angels, but by armored vehicles, intelligence briefings, snipers on rooftops, and heavily armed escorts. The Swiss Guard stand watch. Local armies clear roads. Security agencies lock down cities. Now pause. If he is under the covering of an omnipotent God, why the dependence on human force? Why not angelic sentinels? Why not visible divine intervention? Why does divine authority require military logistics? 3. Invisible power, or practical reality. We are told God protects. We are told God appoints. We are told God ordains. Yet the structure surrounding the highest earthly representative of that God mirrors the same vulnerability as any political leader. Bulletproof glass, root secrecy, crowd control barriers. If divine protection is absolute, why supplement it? If heaven commands legions, why deploy policemen? One may argue, God works through human systems. But then we must ask, is this divine sovereignty or simply institutional survival? Because once divine authority functions identically to secular authority, the line between the sacred and the strategic begins to blur. 4. The strategic paradox. If an all-powerful being governs the earth and has appointed a visible representative, logic suggests strategic advantage. Not spectacle, not theater, but advantage. Imagine a king claiming to command an invisible, invincible army, yet traveling only under heavy reliance on ordinary soldiers. At what point does prudence look indistinguishable from powerlessness? If the Pope cannot walk unguarded among people without fear of harm, what does that say about the practical manifestation of divine oversight? Is heaven silent? Or was heaven never operational in the way we were taught? 5. The doctrinal framework. Here is where it becomes deeper than security. The system teaches the Pope is divinely guided. The Church is supernaturally sustained. God's authority governs history. Yet in practice, the institution behaves like any geopolitical entity navigating risk. Risk assessment, security coordination, public relations management. If divine strategy is indistinguishable from human strategy, then what exactly makes it divine? Is the doctrine describing reality or shaping perception? 6. The manual of obedience. Every powerful institution requires belief. Every doctrine requires internal acceptance. But when observable reality consistently mirrors human limitation rather than supernatural distinction, we must ask, are we witnessing divine mystery or psychological conditioning? If from childhood we are taught that questioning is rebellion, that doubt is sin, that obedience is virtue, At what point does theology become a manual of mind control? Not through chains, not through force, but through unquestioned narratives. 7. The quiet question. This is not an attack. It is an examination. If the Pope, said to be second in command under God, requires rifles, barricades, and national armies for protection, what does that imply about the operational presence of divine power? If heaven governs, why does earth look unmanaged? And if the structure requires constant human reinforcement, is the power transcendent or constructed? The question is not whether faith comforts. The question is whether the framework withstands logic. And tonight, I leave you not with an answer, but with a question that must echo privately. If the system demands belief without evidence, discourages doubt, and survives through institutional protection, is it divine revelation or an extraordinarily refined manual of control? Please leave a comment below, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more insights.